Hi friends, and thank you for clicking on this video. Today's video is a collaboration with my YouTube friends Katariina A, who is a great YouTuber. She has a ton of beauty related content, project planning, and different types of content as well. She's also vegan and cruelty free. And the topic that we're going to talk about is YouTubers that I loved but no longer watch. I'm very curious about what YouTubers Katarina is going to include in her video, but let's just start. The first YouTuber that I'm going to talk about is Richlockz. Richlockz is a drama channel, but he also does some beauty content when he buys some products like influencers, makeup brands, and swatches them in a very peculiar manner.
Alright, so I'm just gonna warm it up. Alright, so it feels like kind of dry, of course, right?
He's a very entertaining person. He's very fun to watch. You can watch him and enjoy his content even if you're not interested in YouTube, even if you're not interested in drama or beauty. Like I watched some of his videos with my ex-boyfriend when we were together, and he enjoyed it, even though when I was trying to watch other videos with him, he was not enjoying them as much. But yeah, I really liked Richlockz's content and his humor, his entertaining personality at first, and then he just started sucking up to Jeffree Star, and I kind of tolerated that and kept watching. Then he filmed a collab with Jeffree Star and another YouTuber from Texas, Graveyard Girl, Bunny, and then the amount of shilling and sucking up to Jeffree Star just rose in an incredible amount. And so when I expressed my feelings on a platform I'm currently banned from, a lot of people agreed with me, and apparently a lot of people also have started slowly stopped enjoying his content and no longer watch him, and neither do I. I also want to add that I stopped watching some of these YouTubers not so long ago, and some I stopped watching a long time ago, so there's gonna be quite a range. Yeah, so I don't really watch Richlockz anymore, and I can't enjoy his content as much, but I still think he's a fun, entertaining person, of course. And the second person that I'm going to talk about is also someone who I actually love. It's Ingrid Nielsen. When I first started watching her, it was those blessed times of an OG YouTube, and she was called Miss Glamorazzi on YouTube, and she had a boyfriend. And when I discovered her content, it was like a breath of fresh air, because she was one of those girls who look like a normal girl as opposed to those beautiful models who have a ton of plastic surgeries, who look the way you could never look even if you tried, you know what I mean? And I was very happy to find someone on YouTube who looks so like me, who's very fun and approachable, and her content was very enjoyable. And she was one of those people who even had a boyfriend but did not plug him in every sentence like the majority of YouTubers did, and maybe still do, but that was the case because she's actually gay. And yeah, I think I slowly stopped watching her content, because at that point of time when I stopped watching her, it was less and less beauty and more different collabs, interviews, something like that. Of course, but of course I'm a feminist and I agree with all her views, and I think it's very important what she did. And she was also one of those people who you can easily watch sponsored content without being without feeling iffy, because she did sponsored skincare videos pretty well. So yeah, just because of the switch of content, I slowly and basically stopped watching her. I loved all her videos, especially her monthly favorites, and I haven't at some point of time I had not watched her for a year or two, but a couple of years ago I decided to check up on her, and in one of her videos, which was a video like of monthly favorites, she said that we always talk about new releases, but what about we try to finish an eyeshadow palette for this year? And that was before I ever learned about project planning, but that was the first time I encountered something like a standpoint similar to what project planning is, and that was like mind-blowing. I was like, oh my god. And that's why I love Ingrid, but I admit that I don't watch her anymore still. After that time I haven't watched anything, and when I have checked her channel I still wasn't enticed by any of her videos. So it's a kind of situation where you really love a personality of a person, but you're not really enticed by their content, and I feel like her views have also been declining for such a big channel that she is, because she's an OG YouTuber. She had millions throughout the whole time. But yeah, love her, but don't watch her anymore. A third person is also an OG YouTuber of some sort, and it's Zoella. I think Zoella, I'm sure Zoella was actually the first English speaking channel I've ever watched on YouTube. I remember when I first started getting into YouTube, I created an account, I started following beauty gurus, and that was mind-blowing to me because I never considered YouTube anything serious. At the time, before I was 19, I considered YouTube as this weird place where just people dump their cat videos or even vines, but that was not for me. And then I just discovered that there are YouTubers who do beauty content, who do lifestyle content, who chat to you as if they are their friend. And at first I watched a couple of Russian beauty gurus, but then I discovered Zoella. I think I discovered her just on my own, but that was also a recommendation from my friend at the time. She recommended it basically the same day as I have encountered her on my own. And after that, I had been loving her for years. I loved her content, her beauty content, her monthly favorites was again my jam. I love when people do those favorites and they include makeup as well as like TV shows and music and things like that, and just her personality is so pleasant to watch. And I was one of her millions of subscribers. Maybe I still am, but I was her biggest fan. I enjoyed her videos. I even had one of her products by her Zoella beauty line, which is now discontinued. I had like a body scrub by her, but then she just stopped making content. She switched to her vlog channel, as far as I understand. She has like, I think her last videos on her main channel would be like a year ago, and before that there was those huge breaks as well. And then there was drama that Zoella released an advent calendar, which a lot of people consider a scam because the advent calendar had some cheap things that cost nothing, like paper clips or stickers, something like that. So a lot of people were disappointed and called Zoella a scammer. I personally would still consider watching her even after that, because I mean, advent calendars can suck. There was a situation where Sephora released an advent calendar with literally the same thing. One day of advent calendar could be a hair tie, Another one could be like a tweezers, like tweezers. It was very cheap, so a lot of like Zoella, but still nobody cancelled Sephora after that. But then I also found out that apparently Zoella is facing jail time for repeatedly not disclosing her sponsorships on her social medias, because in most of the countries it is a law to disclose sponsorships. Not in my country, from what I know, because then some YouTubers could also face jail time, but they're walking free. Yeah, so there's also a huge factor while Zoella is walking on thin ice, if she's still walking, maybe not, because she's not releasing any videos. So yeah, that is another person that I love but no longer watch, but this time maybe more because of objective reasons, not because of I grew out of it. Another channel that I watched and liked but no longer watch for years is the channel Ladylike, which was like a daughter channel of Buzzfeed. I watched it because there are a lot of nice, fun, attractive personalities like Sophia Nygaard and more girls. There were a lot of bright, interesting personalities, but then the content became kind of boring, and then Sophia quit BuzzFeed, and another girl, Michelle, also quit BuzzFeed. Actually, Freddie from that show filmed a couple times with Sophia on her channel. I'm not sure if that was prohibited by BuzzFeed, and I'm not sure if she's still there. I'll have to check when I edit the video, but I haven't watched it in so long that I don't know what girls are there. So I also want to add that BuzzFeed is something that I don't really watch anymore. I haven't watched it for years, except BuzzFeed Unsolved. But I don't really like BuzzFeed Unsolved either, because there's so much better true crime content alternatives on YouTube without silly jokes that they make about the murders of the people, which I feel kind of uncomfortable watching, even though I understand they're trying to lighten things up, even not to make it too scary perhaps, or just to show off their personalities. But that's something I don't extremely enjoy, and there are better true crime channels than BuzzFeed Unsolved in my opinion. Another channel that I loved but no longer watch is the channel called Covet Thee. I also watched that girl because I felt like she looked like me. She was kind of relatable. She's pretty, and she had a lot of beauty content. She still has, but at some point it got a bit too repetitive. She does the same eye looks, she has the same aesthetics. She uses a lot of luxury products. She does some fashion videos, which I just don't like. I don't like fashion videos at all. I'm not interested. But yeah, just liked her so much, and then I slowly grew out of her content because it became too repetitive, and every video was kind of like another. And the same thing with her friend, another British YouTuber, Hello October, as far as I remember. Just grew out of her content, became too repetitive, same thing. I understand that when I first got into beauty YouTube, I mostly watched British YouTubers and I love them. Still like British YouTubers. I think the products that they showed were a bit more accessible to me as opposed to American YouTubers, because there are some American brands that do not ship internationally ever, are not on the websites that ship internationally, and British YouTubers had some makeup that was available in Europe and here. So there is that. But another YouTuber I want to talk about is Melanie Murphy. I also loved her a lot when I first started watching her. She had a lot of beauty content, but it was something different. She was very outspoken. I loved her favorites videos as well. She also had a sister who was also very good looking, and then she also started her YouTube channel. I grew out of her channel when she slowly started featuring less beauty makeup and more things sexuality wise, body wise, diet wise, things like that, because I'm just not exactly interested in that type of content. Like sexuality wise, I kind of already know that like masturbation is okay, sex toys are okay, I know that. I don't really need a YouTuber to tell me that. So there's that, and I just stopped watching Melanie and I haven't watched her since. And I clicked on her channel today, and there weren't any videos to entice me to watch either. And another YouTuber I want to talk about is Stephanie Nicole. So that's also someone who I watch but no longer. I think when she got popular, she had a bomb content. She really hit on the head with her talking about Morphe and private labeling and Jeffree Star. That was fresh, that was groundbreaking, it was interesting, it was shocking even. I remember enjoying those videos profoundly, but I think she just stopped with that theme altogether. And she also took huge breaks with her channel, and now she does a lot of videos like Sephora recommendations, and apparently a lot of them are sponsored. I think I grew out of her because she no longer did the content that I subscribed her, that I subscribed for, that I started watching her for, and maybe the same thing with other people regarding Stephanie Nicole. So also maybe I just want to list some YouTubers that I no longer watch because the reasons could be similar to what I already said about the previous YouTubers, but Estee, Lalonde, as known as Essie Button, Tanya Burr, Fleur de Force, also Brittany Lee Saunders, even though she's not British, she's Australian, but I remember watching her and then just grew out of her content. Some of that could have been connected to their personalities. Also, someone who I loved and watched when she was still on the smaller side is Jessica Braun. I loved her because she did no makeup tutorials and because she featured a lot of drugstore products. But I slowly started growing out of her when she started making a lot of pregnancy and baby related content, and then I just switched to different YouTubers. I have a lot of YouTubers that I watch now. I love a lot of smaller YouTubers, love interacting with smaller YouTubers. I feel I can trust them more. I feel like they make more creative content. They make something unusual. They're putting effort in the videos that they make. They're not just stamping the whole thing of full face of first impressions again and again, and PR unboxing. They make different content. They make original content. They are to be trusted. They show products that are not really showed by anyone else, like indie and rare indie products. So yeah, there's that. I'm extremely curious about Katarina's video, and go and support her and subscribe to her channel. It's a quality channel. She has a beautiful background, beautiful lighting, a beautiful person who also puts a lot of effort in her videos, and is a good person who is also vegan and cruelty free, and is also doing a no buy year. So I hope you can go and check her out. Thank you very much for watching.